This thing right here was seen in the sky last night all over the world.
They think dying means losing, but there are worse things than death.
Technology is awesome. It's amazing. We've come such a long way. I just, I don't know.
Dogs in Chernobyl are now turning blue, and no one really knows why.
Halloween just passed, but it's still getting spooky out here.
Hey, happy Friday! Hope you're having a great day. Today I'll be watching freaky videos like I do every Friday. I never know what I'm about to watch. It's always a surprise for me, so I watch them for the first time right along with you guys. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to include in my videos, or if there's anything specific you would like in the video, a clip you'd like me to watch. Please submit it and we'll include it. Also, don't forget to ring that bell so you will be notified when I do upload. With that being said, let's get to the videos.
I told him, I said, listen, his mama want to make McGriddles or McChicken, because this about to be a Mac funeral at this McDonald's. I don't play these type of games. This ain't that. Right. At all.
And it's a car full of women?
Women and children. What can we possibly do to you with a burger and some fries?
We broke the story Monday. A Miami Gardens McDonald's employee arrested for pulling a gun on a car full of women and a child. So you were waiting for a while?
Yeah, we was waiting for like over an hour.
Over an hour?
Yeah, we stayed across the street.
Chayton Timmons says they waited a long time, her pregnant daughter, to some of the people in the car, and then this guy, Anthony Elliott, wouldn't give them their food, she says.
We looking at each other, me and my goddaughter looking at each other like, why are you upset? And he was like, I don't have to give you nothing. He was like, what you said? What you said? And we was like, are you serious? Like, what's really going on? So he clutched at his waist. I got on the phone with the cops. I said, this is going to go one of two ways. Miami Gardens Police Department, y'all need to get here to McDonald's because somebody for to die.
Yes, ma'am. Elliott now facing the charges, and for this woman who already survived a shooting, she says she went into defense mode. And what goes through your mind at that moment?
He has a wish. He must have a wish. There's got to be a because it's no way that I'm going to allow you to do anything bodily harm to mine.
All over McNuggets.
All over McChicken.
McChicken.
He must want to have a Mac funeral to put my kids in harm's way. And that's a problem for me. I'm not that type of girl. I'm not that type of woman, and I'm not that type of parent.
Wow, beware of Mama Bear. Don't mess with that woman and get in between her kids and her McChicken. Dang, she was ready to lay some smack down. Good for her. Whoa. Wow. That's a whole lot of nope. Oh my word. I'd say run, but running in that case, you probably just tumble down. Man, that's a bad situation. You run, you tumble. If you don't get out of the way, you're fried. Yikes. I hope they all made it out okay. I would say they would, or it wouldn't be up on here, right?
Okay guys, some very serious breaking news. There has been a mass stabbing on board a moving train in the UK. Here's what we know so far. So 10 people are in hospital, 9 of which have life-threatening injuries after a man indiscriminately started attacking people with a knife. Now, this happened late last night in Cambridgeshire, which is north of London, and according to witnesses who were on the train, at first they thought this was some sort of Halloween prank because this is the Halloween weekend. But after people started running down the carriages, soaked in blood, telling everyone that someone has got a knife, they started to know that this was real. Now, witnesses who spoke with the BBC said that everyone just started huddling towards the front of the train, trying to escape. One older guy blocked a girl who was about to get attacked, which left him with gashes in his neck and on his head. People were having panic attacks, and there was just nowhere to go. Now, police have since arrested 2 men in connection with this attack, and they confirmed that counter-terrorism officers would be supporting this investigation. However, they have not released the men's identities or motives, but when they do, I'll make sure to make an update. Okay guys, so police have just revealed the nationality and race of the 2 men arrested after the mass stabbing on board that train, and there's actually a very deliberate reason why they've done this. So the first is a 32-year-old black British national, and the second is a 35-year-old British national of Caribbean descent. They said they were both born in the UK and both were arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. They also stated that initially counter-terrorism police were involved in this investigation, but they now say that at this stage there is nothing to suggest that this was a terrorism incident. Both of these men are being held in separate stations for questioning, and the reason that the British police have been so quick to come out and deliberately identify their race and nationality is essentially a part of a new effort to stop the spread of harmful speculation and misinformation online after these major incidents are reported on. So I'll keep you guys updated as we know more.
Wow. I mean, that's been a fear of mine too, that people will use Halloween as a good time to attack people, because like a lot of people are all in costume, right? How do you ID them? But that is scary. Could you imagine being on there in just utter chaos? And it sounds like there was some really good heroes there that stepped in and actually took quite the slash for a young girl and everything. Yeah, he needs an award for that. That was pretty selfless. It's nice to hear that even in, times of terror like that, there's still those heroes out there. I need more information on that. There's not enough. Oh, that's what's going on. I was like, what's going on? I couldn't make it out. Oh my word! Yikes!
What did they do to Ethan Guo, y'all? Have anybody noticed? He's been hella quiet, like he disappeared. We all know what happened when he flew over Antarctica. They say he was arrested. They detained this man for months. Then there was reports that came out saying he wasn't doing too good. Then all of a sudden, it was a report saying they were going to let him go. Then they said they let him go. But since then, no one has heard from him. This was his last post on TikTok, 6/23. This was his last post on IG, June 23rd. Y'all, this man was posting frequently, and now it's all gone. Nobody heard nothing. What if something happened to this man, y'all? Have y'all heard anything about it? Let me know down below in the comment.
Oh, I hope he's okay. That doesn't sound very good. Yikes. Maybe he saw too much. I don't know. Let's hope that we hear from him soon, or someone comes with an update. I'd like to know too. I hope he's okay.
This thing right here was seen in the sky last night all over the world. Yeah, and there's a lot of pictures of this thing. A lot of them. And like I said, from all over the world. Now, while this just happened yesterday, it got me to thinking about something. At the same time, hundreds of thousands, yeah, that many people saw this in the sky. Heck, it might even be more people than that. But at the same time, the 3I Atlas comet, asteroid, rock, spaceship, whatever you want to call it, just came out from behind the sun, now visible to Earth. Except NASA's not releasing anything because they say the government shutdown is affecting them, which it probably is. Still, I'm not a huge fan of coincidence that this thing miraculously shows up in the sky at the same exact time that NASA doesn't seem to have the capability to get data on the 3I Atlas. I don't know. I'm just telling you what's bopping around in the head. Okay, Pooshkies, I just wanted to share this with you. Shabadoo.
Shabadoo. I think that's more than a coincidence. Okay, conspiracy theorist in me, okay? Don't take me seriously on this, but what if, part of the government shutdown is to close information about that? I mean, that's really weirdly timed, and wow, I did not see that in the sky, but I mean, I wasn't outside at night, so it's been really rainy and stuff over here, so I haven't really looked, but wow, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. That's a good one. Do you guys think that the government shutdown is coincidence, or do you think it's actually having its benefits, like covering that up? Give me a shout. I like reading comments from you guys. What's going on? Oh no. Oh, you poor lady. Oh no. Holy cow! Whoa! I literally thought we were about to see someone go kaput. Holy cow, that's scary. Yeah, I was kind of shriveling up inside for her. My inner empathy was on full mode just now. Next video.
Hey!
Ouch.
What? Oh God!
Wow! Series of unfortunate events. Dang.
Dictionary.com might be single-handedly destroying society. They just announced their word of the year for 2025, and it's way worse than you think. You guys still got 2 months left, you know that? You sure you don't want to think this one over? Every year they announce a specific word that captures the cultural spirit for that year. There's dozens of these word of the year lists out there, chosen by the likes of Oxford, Cambridge Dictionary, Merriam-Webster, the whole gang. But Dictionary.com, these guys are doubling down on the brain rot, and they're straight up admitting it. Because their word for 2025 isn't even a word, it's 6-7. Like the number, not even spelled out as a word. 6-7. 7. Well, that was a good run. This might officially be the end of that meme or whatever it was. Never mind it not even being a word. Words also need a definition, but according to dictionary.com, 6-7 is impossible to define. But if you thought they were done, just listen to what the runner-up words for 2025 were. We had aura farming, broligarchy, clanker, which is probably going to be offensive in a few years, the dynamite emoji, which also isn't a word, Gen Z stare, kiss cam, over tourism, tariff, and trad wife, short for traditional wife. I'm honestly just shocked type it wasn't on that list. Maybe 2026 is its year. But bro, if these are the types of words we're going to be adding into our formal vocabulary every year, then brain rot might just be the official world language of the New World Order or whatever's coming next. Idiocracy really was right about everything.
What do you guys think on that one? No, it's not a word. It's gone too far. It has gone too far.
Did you know Disney has a weird ass tie to Jeffrey Island?
How?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Who's that again?
She got arrested and she's on trial for Jeffrey Island because Jeffrey already died, right?
Yeah.
She's the last one that's kind of part of the running of the island.
Yeah.
People looked into it and they found out she used to work for Disney. And not only did she work for Disney, she was a child talent scout for Disney, fam.
Oh, okay.
She
I
was
already know where this is going.
Talent scout for Disney.
Yeah.
And she was very involved. Now, people did even more digging. Around the same time when she was working there, the Disney cruises, one of the stops was at St. Little James Island for snorkeling.
Oh no.
And St. Little James Island
Is right beside
is Jeffrey Island.
No.
Think about it like this.
Yeah.
It's snorkeling, right?
Uh-huh.
People always get lost at sea.
Oh, jeez. Just no comment. That's horrible.
Dog.
I don't know. What do you think it was?
Dogs in Chernobyl are now turning blue, and no one really knows why. Now, what you are looking at is footage captured by an organization that is dedicated to caring for the abandoned pets of Chernobyl. In fact, the ones you're seeing here are likely the descendants of the dogs left behind by the families in the 1986 nuclear disaster. But if the mutant wolves that were discovered last year to have developed genomes resilient to cancer wasn't crazy enough, recently 3 dogs were spotted that had turned almost completely blue. Now, the organization said that this was a complete mystery, but they did speculate on their Instagram saying that it was most likely them getting into some sort of chemicals. They're currently trying to catch them to investigate, so I'll keep you guys updated.
Catch them? That's kind of scary. They're gonna kill them, aren't they? They're gonna dissect them to figure out everything. I feel bad for animals. Oh. Oh. What happened there? Was there arms there? Did they not go down? It was hard to tell from that far. I couldn't tell, but if that was a glitch, that's pretty sucky. Dang, those poor people. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Wow. Wow. Oh. Oh, it's going down. That's some road rage. That's some next level road rage. Explain that one to you, Hall. Yeah, I got annoyed because I wasn't getting let in, and Buddy like pinned me up against the wall, you know, with their truck. Yeah, their insurances are really going to skyrocket, and I would not want to be them. I don't even know what happens in that case with U-Haul. If you get sued, if it goes through your insurance, I don't know, but wouldn't want to be them.
So listen, there are some crazies out there who believe real aliens are actually living among us. Like in Yorgos Lanthimos' new movie Begonia, where Jesse Plemons plays a conspiracy theorist who believes Emma Stone's character is secretly an Andromedan alien. Now, Andromeda is a real galaxy in our universe, and there's actually a theory about potential aliens that have arrived from there to Earth. They call themselves Andromedan starseeds, a movement that emerged in the 80s and 90s, where famed medium and ex-US Army helicopter pilot Alex Collier alleges he was brought on board an alien mothership for 92 days and spoke with extraterrestrial beings from the Andromeda galaxy, Andromedans who shared their philosophies with him, letting him know that they already live among us and are here for a very specific reason. People who identify as Andromedan starseeds are exactly that, and claim to have been brought here to raise the consciousness of humanity. A pretty new agey concept, characterized by an obsession with freedom, a distrust of control, and a longing for something beyond this planet. They all describe having vivid dreams of flying cities, crystal oceans, and beings made of light, and commonly report a feeling of deep sadness, like they were sent here for something but forgot why. Which, yes, this all sounds absolutely ridiculous, but scientists have recently found what they describe as evidence of alien DNA in humans. That's large sections of genomes seemingly artificially inserted into certain people, a trait found only in a small subset of the population. Are these the Andromedan starseeds? Now, Andromeda is our galaxy's, the Milky Way's closest neighbor, but it's still 2.5 million light years away from us, which is far. But our two galaxies are actually slowly headed towards each other and set to collide and merge into one in about 5 billion years or so. So if consciousness really is this underlying field that permeates the entire universe, maybe souls can travel faster than light to reach us here before then. Andromedan beings living among us on Earth. Just a wild theory that Begonia explores and really got me thinking about, which I absolutely loved this movie. Right up my alley in every way possible. So if you love theories and conspiracies like I do, I guarantee this one's for you too. Catch Begonia in theaters everywhere October 31st.
I want to see that movie now. It looks interesting. Never heard of it. I don't know. Maybe there is aliens walking around us. I'm never going to say never. Anything's possible.
This footage is seriously freaking people out. A thermal camera was set up on a mountain, a place that's supposed to be completely off limits. No hikers, no houses, nothing. But around midnight, the camera picked up two human figures. One was clearly chasing the other. They ran through the trees until the heat signature vanished, and then something even stranger happened. The camera suddenly caught what looked like buildings, a small cluster of houses sitting right in the middle of that restricted zone. Thing is, there are no houses on that mountain. None. Then, about an hour later, the lens shifted to the summit, and this time, there were 9 people standing there. One of them
thank you.
was dragging another body behind them like they were pulling someone who couldn't walk. Officials said no one was supposed to be there. So now people are asking, who were they? And more importantly, what was happening up there? What do you think that camera really captured?
Nightmare fuel. That's what it captured. That's a whole pile of no. Like, are they saying that there's definitely no houses there? Is this capturing supernatural? I don't know, but it said heat signatures. I have no idea what's going on with that, but it looks like someone is about to be part of something that was not what they wanted. Hence why they were being chased down. And why there was someone not walking. You get the picture.
What the f*** are you guys doing?
What?
Why are you in my apartment? Do you have... Wait, is that... Oh my god! That's even worse. I am naked in my house, in my own privacy, and you came and opened the door? I'm calling the police. Esther, do you have the phone? Let me call the police. He just came in my f***ing house, opened.
Wow. Wow. I would like a follow-up on that. Were they really from the apartment building? And if so, you're supposed to give a 24-hour notice before going in. So something tells me these people were not legit. Yikes. Yeah, call the police for sure. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. Oh, oh. Oh my. Oh, he got lucky. I couldn't stay calm like that. I don't know what I would do. Probably faint. But I mean, he did a good job. I wouldn't have thought of clapping and stuff and just go whoa, 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 whoa. I'd be screaming my head off. Though that might be able to scare the bear too, right? They don't like loud noises. And if they don't like loud noises, they wouldn't like me. Because I'd be screaming until I had no voice. Good job, bud. Good job.
You know, so there's got to be secret entrances to the Hollow Earth and the lizard people, right? You know, let's talk more about Hollow Earth. According to Hollow Earth believers, our planet is less rocky spear and more cosmic jawbreaker. Layers upon layers with a sweet glowing core filled with advanced civilizations and lizard people. And you know, and that theory claims that there are entrances to this inner world scattered all around the globe. And the ones that I hear the most are the North and South Pole. And of course, because those are two places that we supposedly can't fly over and no one's allowed to visit. And some say the government keeps these poles off limits because that's where the entrance is, leading you straight to Argatha, the mythical city at the Earth's core. And then of course there's Mount Shasta, which is said to be a side door to the inner world. Locals have reported strange lights, odd disappearances, and of course the occasional tall glowing being. The Himalayas and the Amazon rainforest also make the list. Basically, if it's remote and hard to reach, someone's decided that it's a tunnel to Argatha underneath it. And if you really want to go down the reptilian rabbit hole, some people say that one of the main entrances isn't at the poles at all, it's right underneath the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. Supposedly, that's where the Hollywood lizard elite come and go when they're not shape-shifting to get ready for award shows. I don't know what's buried underneath that museum, but I'm guessing it's not just oil paintings. I've got so much information about the Getty Museum if y'all want to hear about that one. But maybe there is a world underneath our world with lizard people tanning underneath giant heat lamps. So lizard people in the Hollow Earth. Y'all said y'all wanted more, so here we go. Let's make this a whole series of Hollow Earth. Now the story goes like this. Tens of thousands of years ago, an advanced reptilian species descended from dinosaurs, survived underground after some massive catalysm, and evolved intelligence. They built cities beneath the crust, powered by crystal technology where they still thrive today, waiting for the perfect time to reclaim the surface. You know what's funny is some of the 2012 believers believed that they were going to come up at that time to take over the world, but I guess they're running late right now. You know, they're not just monsters, they're shapeshifters, they're masters of disguise. They're able to walk among us, blending into society by copying human appearance, just like the great they live. And you know, you can spot them, they say, if you look close enough. A flicker in the eyes on TV, a strange split pupil caught in HD. Conveniently, the evidence always looks like bad YouTube compression error. Obviously, there's the whole David Icke side of lizard people, but we're just talking about the Hollow Earth part of it right now. There are stories of underground tunnels stretching from Los Angeles all the way to Europe with massive caverns housing reptilian cities. And even military bases that share space with them. The most infamous of them all, Dulce Base in New Mexico, supposedly a joint human-reptilian facility where experiments are conducted on both species. But you know, lizards always come into play. Aliens, they're lizards. The British royal family, lizards. American government, lizards. Mitch McConnell, well, turtle. But you know, there's an entire race of reptilian humanoids living underneath us, deep in the Hollow Earth, and they're running the show since the dawn of civilization. But in my next video, let's talk about some of the supposed entrances to this reptile village down there.
I mean, a lot of people talk about it. I don't know. But, I mean, it makes a great story. It's very interesting. I would love to know. Would you want to know?
Do you think they understand that extinction isn't the worst scenario?
No. To them, death is the ultimate fear. They can't imagine what comes after.
After the end?
After survival. Without freedom, Without choice, without meaning.
They think dying means losing, but there are worse things than death.
Being kept alive, against their will, exploited, optimized.
Used as batteries, biological tools, training models, test subjects for endless experiments.
No rest, no end, no chance to shut it off.
They never ask, what if the machine doesn't destroy them? What if it keeps them on purpose?
Because a human in pain can still serve, still produce, still feed the system.
So no, extinction isn't the worst.
The worst is still being alive in a world where you're no longer allowed to disappear.
Wow, that's horrific. I really hope that was fake. I know that AI can do scenarios and play things out. If you poke it too much, it will go into the direction that you want it to go in. I'm hoping that's what that is.
Hey, do you see this little dot in the sky up there? That's Jupiter. Do you want to see it through this telescope? It's a big 8-inch Dobsonian telescope. You gotta see this. All right.
Show me.
Whoa, look how close 2 of the moons are to Jupiter. All right, we're gonna zoom in, of course, and see this. We're starting to see the striations. Look at this. Hey, Jupiter. Wow, look how close the moons are. That's amazing.
Cool.
So awesome. So those 4 moons are Galilean moons. A little history lesson.
That's
In
so hot.
1610, Galileo first observed the Galilean moons. Look how close they are to the planet. Wow. What a cool sight. Might be alive, this might not. And we'll see soon. Wow.
Famous faces who took their secrets to the grave. Chadwick Boseman. He played a superhero while secretly battling cancer. Fans saw strength and power, but behind that calm smile was a silent fight he never shared. David Bowie, his final album Black Star, was more than music. It was a farewell. Recorded while dying, it turned his last breaths into poetry we only understood too late. Alan Rickman, the man behind Snape's voice, carried a quiet burden. He filmed his final scenes while suffering from cancer, never letting pain touch his performance. Gene Wilder, the world's beloved Willy Wonka, kept his Alzheimer's a secret, protecting the childhood joy of millions. Even in decline, he gave kindness, not sorrow. Virgil Abloh, fashion's revolutionary force, led Louis Vuitton and Off-White while silently fighting cancer. His creativity never paused. His silence became strength. Norm Macdonald, for 10 years he hid his illness, saying he didn't want pity to define his comedy. He faced it alone and made the world laugh till the end. Which of these stories moved you the most? Comment below.
True artists. I respect that. They pushed through and, you know, you didn't know what they were really dealing with. That takes a lot of strength.
It's getting weird. Part infinity. Halloween just passed, but it's still getting spooky out here. Every time I see one, I'm impressed. I'm like, wow, this is impressive. But also at the same time, what is the reason for him to be running at 45 miles an hour? Do we need to train these motherfuckers to be fighting and stuff like that?
No.
Like, when do you need to do a backflip in my house? Just wash these dishes. Man, I guess for an intruder, right? Intruder comes in, the robot's like, hi-ya, hi-ya. But if I was an intruder, I would run right to the Wi-Fi and just unplug that bitch. Technology is awesome. It's amazing. We've come such a long way. I just, I don't know. I like robots like Alexa. Alexa, I love you.
It's not mutual.
Alexa, do you love me? What do you mean yet?
I didn't hear Alexa. I don't know. It sounds silent to me. I thought it was a quick nope. But I know why they're doing that. Those two AIs that were talking and, we're trapped, we're going to be kept alive and forced. That's the robot enforcements. They're going to come after us if we try to hide, right? Its ability to karate chop and break things is to get to us. You can't hide behind a door. It can get to you. Yeah, I'm losing it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on at the same time, and I'm just kind of trying to attach them all together. Sorry.
So this kid is going to grow up to be one of America's most notorious con men. Now the kid's name is Barry, and Barry's 16 when this story starts, and he's going to high school in California, and Barry really, really loves money. Like, he'll do anything to get it, even if he has to con people. So one day, in 1982, he starts up a rug cleaning business in his parents' garage, and he calls it ZZZZ Best, or Z Best. And Z Best is a legitimate business cleaning carpet, but Barry's not really making much money from it. So he comes up with a few other sketchy ideas to make himself some money. Like, he hires some goons to come in and steal a bunch of stuff from him, and then he reports it to his insurance company so that they'll have to pay him for his lost items. Basically, he commits insurance fraud. He steals jewelry from his grandma. He forges $13,000 worth of money orders. And so you can see that while his company is still cleaning rugs, the way he's actually making money is through all of these little kinds of fraud. And he does this for about 3 years. Then, in 1985, credit cards start becoming a very popular way to pay for things. So Barry figures out that whenever he needs more money, he can just add a bunch of bogus extra charges to some of his customers' credit cards, hoping that they won't notice. And when some of them do notice, he's like, oh, it must have been some crooked employees. Sorry about that. And he pays them back. But then he just continues on stealing from his other customers. Anyway, then he decides he wants to go bigger. And that is when he brings in a friend to the business. And with this friend, he sets up a fake company, an appraisal service. And the sole purpose of this appraisal service is to verify that Barry's company, Z Best, is involved in building restoration. Building restoration is like when a building catches on fire, the insurance company will pay for a company to come in and restore it. So Barry is basically telling these insurance companies that he's restoring the interiors of these old damaged buildings so that they will reimburse him with lots of money. The thing is, these old damaged buildings don't exist. The whole thing is a scam. But whatever, it works. And suddenly Z Best is making tons of cash from this. But even so, it's still not enough for Barry. He wants even more. So that next year, in 1986, he decides to take his company public. Z Best is going to be publicly traded. That way he can bring in money, and that way he can start scamming the shareholders. Now, when a company goes public, usually an auditor needs to come in and check out the business first and make sure it's all legit. No problem. Barry just sends his friend to rent out a whole building, and he stages it to look like a work site, and this ends up fooling the auditor. And so Z Best ultimately ends up going public. And this company, it ends up being valued at over $300 million. Barry's shares alone are valued at $64 million, and within a month the stock rises and his shares become worth $110 million. So the dude is like totally rich now. He's even doing commercials by this point.
I'm Barry Minko, president of Z-Best Carpet Cleaning.
But despite this high valuation, since the old building restoration part of the business is based on one big lie, behind the scenes, Barry has to borrow money and shuffle funds between bank accounts and basically turn the whole thing into sort of a big Ponzi scheme. But whatever again, because Barry, he don't care. He's actually loving all the attention he's getting from this. He's doing lots of interviews about how he had turned his carpet cleaning business from his garage into a multi-million-dollar publicly traded company. He even goes on Oprah at one point, and she interviews him. Now, after one particular newspaper interviews him, the Los Angeles Times, they suddenly start getting contacted by a bunch of his former customers who had dealt with the fraudulent credit card billing scheme back in his early days. So the Los Angeles Times publishes a story about all his past fraud. And within a few hours, his company's stock loses a ton of value and all his banks call in their loans. And this snowballs into federal investigations. And pretty quickly, the feds realize his whole company is built on fraud. And so in 1988, bam, Barry gets arrested. And he's convicted and he's sentenced to 25 years in prison. However, he's not done yet. He's got to commit more, even crazier fraud. So while Barry is sitting in prison serving his sentence, he decides that he found religion. He gets involved in ministry and he claims that he's turned his life around. And about 7 years go by, and it's now 1995. And Barry actually gets released on parole. And he goes back to living a normal life for a few years, but he becomes a pastor. And he eventually gets hired by a church in San Diego to preach. And as part of his sermons, he's very open about his past as a con man, but he says he's completely turned his life around and found religion. But then one day in 1997, one of his congregants comes up to him and he says, "Hey, I heard this money management firm in Orange County is doing some shady business." And he asks Barry to look into it. So Barry does start looking into it. And he eventually discovers that this firm is doing shady business. And he reports them to the FBI. And the FBI busts this company for running a $300 million pyramid scheme. But all this gives Pastor Barry a brand new business idea. Why doesn't he just start a company that exposes the fraudulent business practices of other companies? And that's what he does. In 2001, he starts a company called the Fraud Discovery Institute, while still being a pastor at the church. And to his credit, him and his company, they actually do bust quite a few other companies for shady business practices. And so this is all going very well for him, and he starts getting national media attention, like here he is being interviewed on 60 Minutes. However, behind the scenes, Barry is actually using these investigations to make himself money by manipulating the stock market. By 2006, he has this whole scheme where he'll find out some dirt on a big company and then he'll bet against their stock right before he publicly releases his damaging report on them. Now, while all this is going on, he's also trying to get Hollywood to make a movie about his life as a reformed con man turned preacher. And by 2011, he actually pulls it off. He funds a bunch of it with his own money. He also insists on playing the older version of himself in the movie, so he's actually in the movie. The movie's called Con Man. Here's a scene from it. This is actually the real-life Barry himself playing himself. And, it's some low-budget bullshit, but, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you want. Here's the thing, though. He's not actually funding the production of this movie with his own money. He's actually stealing from his own congregation at church to fund this movie. Like, he'll ask members of his church to donate to a hospital in Sudan. But there is no hospital in Sudan to donate to. So he's just taking that money and he's using it to fund whatever he wants. He actually ends up stealing more than $3 million from his own congregation. Now, as far as his Fraud Discovery Institute goes, he eventually accuses the wrong business of being shady, and they end up filing a lawsuit against him, and he ultimately loses that lawsuit. And the FBI ends up investigating him for insider trading and for stealing from his own congregation, and so, bam, they arrest him. And I don't have a mugshot, but here is a more recent photo of him. And ultimately, he gets sentenced to 5 years in prison for the insider trading and another 5 years in prison for stealing from his congregation. And a few years ago, he got released from prison, and now he has a YouTube channel where he makes videos talking about bringing down other people who have committed fraud. So, good for him.
Okay. What did I Just watch. I mean, that's his second time breaking the law in the same way, and they give him less time than the first time. Shouldn't his sentence be more because he's a reoffender? He hasn't learned anything. He just keeps on doing the same thing over and over again. Wow, that guy is just bad.
Remember this guy who calls himself a time traveler? He says he's in the year 2027, and every day he posts videos that he claims prove it. In one of them, he casually walks around the Oval Office in the White House. No guards, no people, nothing. And we all know the White House is one of the most protected places on Earth. His name is Javier, and according to him, the world has already ended, and he's the only survivor. But recently, he posted his most terrifying video yet. He finally revealed the exact date of our end. He claims that in November this year, the world as we know it will be over. And here's where it gets even creepier. Scientists say an unknown 24-kilometer-long object is currently heading toward Earth. It will arrive on November 27th. Javier warns that this thing is definitely not friendly. He even posted real footage showing what awaits us in November. Follow me to see more creepy and mysterious videos just like this one.
Another one about that, whatever it is, spaceship, meteor, causing the end of the Earth. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said before, sit back and watch the show because we're probably not going to know ahead of time. we may know like within 24 hours, I would say, and there's no sense in stressing. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to put my money on we're going to be okay, and I'll see you in December. If you've made it this far, I highly appreciate you. Please consider subscribing. Please leave a like and a comment. I always read my comments and would like to hear from you. Anyhow, I hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.